I'm trying to get. All right, I just got my computer going with Discord. How are you doing, Howard? That's all right. You slept well last night? That, that's good. I slept like a log. Uh, Now, I'm going to join our call on the computer. Hello, can you hear me? Nice. Yeah. Okay. I'm just taking out a piece of paper to take notes of what you say. So that's why you hear paper rustling. All right. Hey, Corky.
So,
How do I get Melee on here again?
on the computer.
Yeah, Slippy Launcher, and then click that.
You have. Yeah, it's this. It's downloading.
Okay. Well, I'm going to sprint to my car and back. I left my controller in there.
Yo, what's up, Howard? How's your morning? Yeah. Have y'all talked about what y'all are gonna look at? I like that. All right. He's back. You're gonna have to log in.
All right. I remember I made an account. Sorry for being in the process of putting my shit together.
Oh, that's no problem.
So how's Alice and Magi and them doing?
Well, Alice is in Ruston right now, so I think she's probably doing well.
Yeah, she's spending time with the Drake twins over there?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. It's giving me an option to skip setup, so I'm just gonna do that.
Yeah, just give setup and then give it your melee ISO.
Okay. It's saying no ISO specified.
Yeah, you do need to put that in the settings.
Okay. Courtney, will you help me with that? It's saying I need the melee ISO.
Go to LA Melee. You might be able to find the link for it in there.
Okay.
Should be a quick download.
Awesome.
Nerd Talk, maybe? Howard would know.
But just put exclamation point links. and then send it. The bot will give you a link.
Exclamation mark blank.
Links.
Links. Go to Nerd Talk just so you're not a cute animal short. Okay. Huh? There we go. Exclamation mark links. Oh yeah, I got it. I got the Legend of Zelda link. I got the Ocarina of Time link. Melee. Okay. Download. Download anyways. Save. Might need to go to your documents and open your Slippy folder and put the ISO there. Okay. Here's the recently downloaded one. I believe that's that file. Okay, and then I find Slippy through app. Sorry, Howard. I usually just play on CRT.
Yeah, all good.
Although this is good. I need to have this shit set up. Okay. There's Slippy. Okay. Just gonna go back. I'm gonna take this. No, don't put it in that. Don't put it in that? That's your clips or your VODs. Oh. Really? Yeah. Let me see. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, here's a mouse. Here we go. Wow. Did I just launch Slippy Dolphin? This is an older version of Dolphin. I missed that version.
It's okay. I mean, he just needs Uncle Punch.
He said I just need Uncle Punch. Oh, then, yep, that'll work. And just screen share this. Okay. I'll just help you get Melee set up on there later. Okay. Alright, I just went live.
Nice. Yeah, I see it. Well,
Oh yeah.
let me
I'm
see.
gonna
Let me pop this out.
I'm gonna need to finagle another second. The controller's not picking up.
Sure.
Okay, standard controller. Oh, I have it in port 2. Is that what it is? Yeah, it should work. Wait, take it. So weird. Okay. So, Corky, do I keep it on PC or for Wii? There should be some application on your computer that fixes your controller or whatever. It should be also in the links if you don't have it, or you can just do this, but your controller is gonna be fucked up. Okay. Okay. Wait, is this? Oh my god! I didn't even have the thing plugged in.
Oh, the adapter?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh? Yeah. You might be able to keep it on Wii U.
Yeah, you put it on Wii U mode.
Go back and put it on the Wii U. Oh, okay. On right here. I already put this down. Plug in port 2. Yeah, port 2. Yeah. Why is your pull rate so low? Shouldn't it be 1,000?
Do you have the overclock installed?
No.
Yeah, yeah, it needs to do that to get to 1,000.
Could I just play for now, or do I need to go download that right now?
It is probably better to. It's not the worst thing in the world to just play right now. It is probably better to download it, especially because me personally, if I don't do stuff at the time, it's like I realize I need to do, I'm just gonna forget to.
Yeah. Well, let me write that down, and I'll do that after our lesson. I don't want to take up too much of your time.
Okay.
What is that called one more time?
It should be on the link, so I can help you get it later.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna write overclock.
Yeah, just write overclock GameCube adapter.
Okay.
Are you on Windows 10 or Windows 11? Or
I'm on Windows 10.
Okay. It's easier on Windows 10. On Windows 11, I know there's like an extra step to do it.
Alright, I'm sharing my screen again.
Nice.
There we go. I'm just gonna...
Alright, cool. Yeah, I see it.
Turn in the... There we go.
You can also turn the volume down and off if it's still too loud.
Is it event?
Event match, yep.
Alright.
So, how do you usually play right now? Do you just play friendlies?
Right now, I usually just kind of get myself a CPU to play against. I usually cycle between the top tiers. I like leaving in on Captain Falcon. But that definitely feels interesting.
Yeah,
but
because it's not overclocked.
But yeah, I'm still at the point where I'm just focusing on the minute things, like landing those wave shines. And getting drill.
Okay.
to get that overclock installed, but I can manage for now.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not an excuse. I am pretty rusty.
Mm-hmm. Can you short hop consistently?
No, I can get up to like 80% consistency, but like feel like I always have that 20% chance of just
accidentally full hopping. Yeah.
Yeah. But that's definitely
On
where
the
I'm struggling.
Sure.
But that's execution things. I feel like that'll get better just like if I play every day.
Mm-hmm, for sure, but it's also kind of like but it will get better. But if you play every day, but it's also something that will like get better faster if you were to put some more direct focus on it, and also that improving I think would also help a lot in terms of future improvement, because then when you wanted to practice or do a sequence, you wouldn't have to be like, well, I hope I get this short hop 90% of the time. You would just be able to be like, okay, I'm supposed to short hop here, and then you would do the short hop.
Oh yeah.
So being able to control your character makes a big difference. Kind of like I mean, I know you play music, so I actually really like working with music people because it makes drawing analogies really, really straightforward and easy.
Oh yeah, everything's related.
Yeah, I mean, definitely like improvement in music is very similar to improvement in Melee, which is not surprising. Just like improving at things in general is pretty related. So honestly, if you think about the ways that you practice music, you can probably draw pretty good parallels to how you should practice in Melee. So, I mean, we can talk about like, wave shining or like trying to learn like whatever bullshit concept in music. But at the end of the day, if you can't play a scale, then like, you're gonna struggle with like learning new pieces.
Yeah.
So similarly in Melee, like, your tech skill and like your character control is very foundational. It doesn't really matter. It's like, you can talk about like practicing wave shining and all this other stuff, but you have to be able to short hop consistently. You have to be able to L cancel, hit your drills, move your character the way that you intend to first. Does that make sense?
100%. I had a few weeks where I was grinding this stuff, and I've noticed a lot of improvement during that, but that was many months ago.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, just getting this shit is really important.
Yeah. And the good news is like moving, and the good news is like, going back to it, getting back to the same level doesn't take as much time as it did the first time, right? Like you get better at rebuilding those skills.
That's definitely the same with music, because rebuilding your calluses and your muscle memory after a break is a lot easier because muscle memory, you're just relaying the groundwork.
Yep, exactly. And so I definitely I recommend if you just like completely frame everything in Melee as in terms of like, how would I do this in music, then you'll find a lot of commonality, especially with like, you want to play a little bit every day. You want to make sure that you know where your notes are. And you want to know that, and you want to be able to play your scales really well, because all those it's all foundational to the rest of the game.
Yeah.
Melee is a game that's kind of like, it is, for better or worse, it is very much like a execution first game.
Yeah.
And music is that way too. You can have a lot of brilliant ideas, and you can have a lot of like really novel concepts, and you can be really clever. But it doesn't matter in Melee if you're like the greatest like strategy gamer of all time. if you are not able to do those things. It's kind of like if you were like playing football, you can be like the most genius like strategy planner of all time as a quarterback, but if you weigh 150 pounds, then you're going to die on the field.
Yeah.
So it is really, really important to make sure that you weigh more than 150 pounds.
I weigh 125 pounds, so God knows what happened to me.
Yeah.
So, I definitely feel... Oh, what'd you say?
No, sorry. Go ahead.
I definitely feel like my strong suit right now is not taking into regard tech skill. It's focusing on the larger game, like positioning of my character. Because when all I can do is full hop, I make sure to use it to the best of my ability.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. And I am going to forewarn you that, as you start to focus on your tech skill and hitting your execution, you're going to get worse at the other thing temporarily.
Okay.
This is just kind of natural as like, you put the forefront of your focus onto really anything that's not what you're usually putting your focus on, then that thing that you're used to doing like very manual goes back to whatever your instinct and muscle memory is. And I'm just going to warn you right now that it's going to be very, very frustrating to like play and be focusing on your tech skill and like mess up your tech skill, and also you're playing stupid because you're trying to focus on your tech skill, so you can't like pay attention to the big picture as well.
In the past, I gotta recognize in myself I have the potential to be a huge rager. Not really at other people. Like Corky's the person who's made me rage the most, but I mainly just get mad at myself for messing up that kind of stuff.
Yep.
So that's a really good note, Howard.
Yeah. And it's just like, nothing is going to be able to... And I think, like, basically everyone who has ever played Melee competitively, or, like, even played music, like, definitely has that capacity, though. It's just, like, it doesn't feel good when, you just, like, want to be able to do the thing, and then you can't do the thing and you get wrecked.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's really, really difficult. And the truth is that like things in Melee just aren't easy, and you need to be able to like take a step back and just go easy on yourself,
Yeah.
Because
you go.
Oh yeah. Because I was just saying, I mean, I'm no different, I definitely have gotten very frustrated with myself. And then like, it's like manifested in like, lashing out in whatever kind of like negative way, putting out like negative vibes, But you just have to understand, you have to be willing to be like, hey, you know what? It's okay. I understand that like it's messed up right now or whatever, but it's gonna get better.
I'm sorry, I'm writing that down.
No, you're good. And, it's also something that, like, you're gonna forget, and you're gonna have to either remind yourself, or people are gonna have to remind you that's like, hey, look, you're trying to learn this other thing right now. The stuff you're normally good at, you're not gonna be as good at it temporarily, but, it's gonna be okay. The whole process of improving in anything is pretty much, first you get good at one thing, and then you use that experience to guide getting good at the other aspects of the game. But you also have to keep in mind that the entire experience of getting better at Melee means that you have to get worse in order to get better.
Yeah. You gotta, like, there's a phrase in, like, the Navy, dress down, where it's like you're removing the outer coat to fix something and then dressing it back up.
Yeah. So exactly.
You gotta dress down your playing, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
During the last Ponchi Fest, I played a lot of Melee during that.
Okay.
And the mentality I tried chasing, I started off with this mentality really strong on the first day, but it kind of faded, and I needed to remind myself to be okay with messing up again. But I tried to be just super duper excited about what the person I was playing against was doing. Like, whenever they got me, it was like, oh, Michael, the player, the human being next to me, got me. It's like just trying to be excited about what the other person's doing instead of, internalizing everything and being like, I messed up. I could have moved a little bit faster in that micro situation right there.
Yeah.
Because that's not the most helpful.
Yeah, I definitely do agree and see where it's like a lot of times like humanizing your opponent can be like very helpful in terms of like preventing yourself from like getting as upset, because then it's just like, oh yeah, like this is like a person that I like, instead of like just like a character on the screen, like some sort of like faceless, like non-human character that, is just like, stupid thing, do what I want.
Like, if Cool John, that's such a cool dude. I haven't played him in tournament yet, I think, but I know he'll most likely beat me. And when that happens, Cool John's just a cool dude. I don't mind it. It's in his name.
Yeah, I think that does help. It's just like kind of tricky to find that balance, because I mean, I don't know how do you feel that whenever you're approaching the game that way, that you're not able to focus on your improvement as much as you would want to?
I feel like it just makes me super duper aware of what my opponent is doing and being able to react around it. It's less of taking everything and being like enrolling with it, and more of treating it like a Dark Souls boss. To where, like, yeah, that's going to happen. Yeah, I got hit. How can I avoid that next time?
Yeah.
It's like, this is like the Dark Souls of fighting games right here.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I do think that's a good approach. I mean, anything that like makes you more aware and understanding of things is good. And that's usually like, I feel personally like usually the main source of being frustrated in Melee or being upset by something in Melee is like has to do with like not understanding why something happened the way it did. So I mean, there's messing up your type skill, but like a lot of times, and our brains are kind of like, they build up these mental shortcuts, right? Where it's just like, a lot of times it'll just be like, well, you get hit by something and you don't even necessarily know what happened. Like, what led up to this interaction that made you get hit? What actually hit you? And a lot of times you don't even really actually know. But it upsets you, and then you're just like, and then if I were to ask you, 5 minutes after the interaction, hey, what happened there? You would say, I don't know, but it's stupid.
Yeah. And you look at those situations and it's just like, wait, why am I in this place? Why did I? It's like crossing yourself up on the edge. It's just like, if you think, oh, I missed my shine, instead of, oh, I put myself in a risky situation in which I needed to land that shine, that's probably a healthier way to look at it.
Yeah, I mean, there's just any sort of thing you can do to kind of like view the situation more objectively, rather than making making judgments about like, if something's like unfair or stupid or good or bad or shouldn't have happened, then I think that goes a long way in towards like being able to understand and learn the game.
I like that word you used, objectively.
Yeah. I think objectivity is a big deal in Melee.
Oh yeah. What is your approach that you take?
In terms of like practice or playing people or what?
I'd say right now, let's say practice. Playing people.
Sure. So usually whenever I play people, I go into each play session with a couple of ideas that I want to try, and I just do my best to implement and execute on those ideas. Ideally, beforehand, I would have had some solo time to kind of work some of those ideas into my gameplay, at least like trying to do them consciously, so I'm sure I can do them at all. And I just try to pay attention to what I'm getting hit by and seeing if my opponent is playing a way that would like that would let me execute on those ideas that I'm trying to apply, and basically just trying to like play around with those ideas, see if they work.
Okay. So, would you say you like bring 3 ideas to put a number on it?
Sure, 3 is good, but I think, in fact, I would go as far as to say concretely that you should have 3 to 5 ideas, and what you should do with those ideas whenever you're playing is you should focus on them one at a time. So, say your 3 ideas are, I want to say your thoughts, right? So you're saying, so your first idea is like, I want to work on getting drill, shine, wave dash, up smash. That's idea 1. And then idea 2 is like, I want to focus on being able to short hop on command, right? Not 80% of the time, 100% of the time. That's idea 2. And then idea 3 is for you to say, I want to work on dash dancing 1 extra time before I approach my opponent. So those are just, obviously just spitballing ideas. They don't have to be actually what you work on. But what I would do is I would work on them only one at a time per game. So like, I know I have 3 ideas that I want to do, but, I'm just going to spend all of my points focusing on hitting drill, shine, wave dash, off smash. And even though I have these other things I also want to work on, this is where my chief focus is. Whenever I hit a drill, I want to be able to turn it into shine and then up smash.
Yeah.
And what I would do is I would focus on that really hard for 3 to 5 games. Then I would move to the next idea for 3 to 5 games. So this will allow you to put all your focus on a single idea to implement, because, generally we just learn things faster if we're able to focus, if we're able to put more focus and attention on them, right?
Yeah.
Especially like a single idea at a time. Trying to learn 3 things at once is really, really difficult. It's basically impossible to make meaningful progress in 3 things at once.
And I think this relates to a master class I attended last semester. There was a trombone player who was talking about approach to music, and he said anything you do, you need to do with 100% laser focus.
Yep.
And I like what you said about doing one of your 3 ideas for like 3 to 5 games. Because I have tried this similar concept of just like writing down 3 ideas, but I wouldn't like try only one of them, I'd be like cycling through them, and I feel like that just made me drop them. Like if I were juggling, they just fell to the ground.
Yeah, it is really, really difficult to try and implement those 3 new ideas all at once. And then, then you, a lot of times, you don't want to, you come away from the session feeling like, oh, like I didn't do any of my ideas right? And that's very, very frustrating. But,
and that's when you just need to be like, okay,
yep,
what did they do that messed me up so bad? How are they playing phenomenally right now?
Yep. But also just definitely okay, think about that masterclass. Have that one idea at a time, and then it's just like to make sure that it doesn't get stale. You can just switch that thing up every few games, but again, only laser focusing on one thing at a time.
Yeah, because like whenever you laser focus on something in the middle of a match, like, oh, I want to grab, then they're gonna read you going for that grab. It's interesting laser focusing something, but not trying to get it in every single scenario. Mm-hmm. Like, how do you work that out?
Yeah, I do think there is a difference between focusing on something and tunneling for something.
Okay, difference between focus and tunneling.
Yeah. So whenever you're tunnel visioning on something, so I do like the difference between tunnel vision versus focus, right? Because focus, I think, it implies just by its phrasing some sort of conscious, deliberate effort, but it's very direct and deliberate. Whereas tunnel visioning literally means that you cannot see the things outside of the tunnel.
Yeah.
Usually when you're tunnel visioning, then it's because something is upsetting you, or you can't perceive objectives or like things outside of the things that you want. And that's a bad thing. But focusing is a good thing. So, if you're tunnel visioning on getting a grab and all you're doing is spamming grab, then it will be very easy for them to say, okay, I'm just not going to get grabbed, and avoid it.
Yeah.
But if you were being able to focus more cleanly instead on whatever it is that you're trying to work on, and not just tunnel visioning trying to spam grab at them, then you would understand like, hey, maybe I can use a move to try to bait them into doing a thing, and I can grab them for doing that thing. Or maybe I can use my grab in a different way to, overshoot them and catch them trying to avoid the grab.
Okay. It's like focus is keeping in mind your other options and being able to capitalize on what your goal is at that moment.
Yeah,
when it occurs.
I think it's like a kind of nebulous and difficult thing to describe, but I think it's a pretty nebulous and difficult thing to describe. But I mean, there's definitely a difference between kind of like blindly tunneling on an option and saying it's like, okay, well, I want to try to grab in this session. That's one of the 3 things I want to practice. And then just like only trying to get grabs and getting frustrated because you can't land a grab, versus focusing on the grab and like realizing what situations are happening that will let you get a grab.
Like, tunnel vision is not being aware of the game state.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah, you agree with that wording right there?
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Okay, I'm writing that down. And I'm giving you credit. That's not me. Okay. There we go. What do you feel now, Chief?
So we've got about 20 minutes left. I think it would be good if we gave you if we gave you like a solid practice regimen.
Okay.
Right? Just
Yeah.
kind of like in music, right? It's just like, it is really apparent whenever you think about improving a melee as an analogy to music. Whenever you're practicing music, you probably don't just like, all right, time to bust out my violin and then just, start playing whatever sheet music I have. That's definitely not how I was supposed to improve at violin whenever I was learning it, even though that is what I did very lazily sometimes, right?
Yeah.
But you want to think about it very, very similar to music. So you have some scales. You have some scales to warm up with. You make sure everything's clicking right. And then I know like y'all do like jazz music and such rather than classical. So I'm not.
I've done a fair amount of classical as well.
Okay, awesome. Then in terms of like the classical training, it was definitely always just like. But I expect with like with all disciplines of music, it's pretty similar, right? Where you just you want to warm up with scales, and then if you notice like kinks or problems in your warm up, then you go and you target them and you work those out.
Yeah, finding your weaknesses in music. Yep. I think the best feeling in music is taking a weakness and turning it into a strength through effort.
Mm-hmm. And whenever you how in music, whenever you have a problem passage, you work on that passage, then you work on the part leading into the passage, then you work on the part leading out of the passage, and you put all those three things together, right?
Yeah.
So think about that in terms of melee, right? Like, so in melee, if you notice, hey, during my warm up, or during my most recent set of matches, like you can draw upon your experience at Paunchy Fest, where it's like, okay, what did I mess up the most? I messed up the getting the wave dash after the shine. You could say that, right? And then so then you would practice shining and wave dashing out of the shine against Chem Falcon like you're doing here. But then you also need to practice the parts leading into it. So you might practice like a way that you would land a drill and then get the shine and wave dash after that.
Or probably just dash dancing into the shine.
Yep, dash dancing and then running shine and then wave dash out of the shine. And then you would practice a way to get out of it, right? So you would do, and then you would like wave dash and you would shine again, or you would wave dash and turn around up tilt, or you would wave dash and then you would up smash, so on and so forth.
Okay.
So what you want to do now, probably with our remaining time, is develop a practice routine. So quit out here.
Okay.
And just go to like the events, and I'll just give you a couple of suggestions for like how. So yeah, you can boot up Uncle Punch again, and then I'll give you a couple of suggestions on how I personally like to kind of do my warm up. It's kind of like my scales, but your scales can be different.
Sorry, I need to turn the music off again.
Oh yeah, no problem.
My bad, I thought you were saying exit Uncle Punch a second ago.
Yeah, no problem.
Event match. Alright.
You need to stream again.
Oh, yeah. Alright. There we go.
Nice, okay, I got it. So here, you want to hit L.
L. My buttons don't tell me the. Okay, so that one's X. There. Wait, L.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So here you're gonna see a bunch of and this is something that's nice about Uncle Punch, is that it'll give you a bunch of concrete metrics about this. So let's turn on L cancel. Let's turn on act out of lag. That's on the right. Down. Yeah. And okay, let's just go with that for now. So hit B to go back, and then go all the way up to training lab, or L cancel training. That's fine. Oh, this must be an old version of Uncle Punch. That's fine. Yeah, and just go on Battlefield. And so just kind of warm up, right? Just like warming up your fingers. Do the stuff that you want to do. Move around. And right away, you're going to see a couple of things, right? So it's like, your L cancel rate is about 50%. You're going to probably want to get that up. Something else you can practice is, short hopping like you're doing now. Another thing you can practice is so like short hop and do a neutral air and then dash back out of it. It doesn't have to hit him for now, though. It is good to practice it both ways.
Whoa! Oh, okay. I've never thought about like just dashing out of that kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's pretty powerful.
Yeah, it is. And so right here, you're going to see a bunch of important metrics here, right? So you're seeing your L cancels are getting better here. But here, do your aerial and then dash back out of it. Yeah, okay. There, you see how it says act out of weight 3 and act out of weight 10? You want that number to be 1. Yeah, and see if you can get your dash back. So, and Melee is a game where it's like you have to time the input. You cannot match the dash back. Otherwise, you just get that clunky turnaround.
That's a lot like, okay, I'm relating it to music again.
Yep.
On bass, you see, on any instrument, you can like spam notes.
Mm-hmm.
But whenever you're singing and using your ear, you can't really sing a note you can't hear.
Yes, that's so true.
And that's like, singing and playing bass at the same time helps me like combine those two voices.
Mm-hmm.
And like those two approaches. And what you just said about you can't mash at Melee, that's true. That's true.
Yep.
Okay.
So this is something that would be good for you to practice, right? Is you can practice this in 2 different ways, right? Though really, if you want to get complicated about it, you could practice it 4 ways. So you could practice. So the simple way to practice is you would practice do the short hop, and then do the short hop, do whatever aerial you want, and make sure that aerial gets L canceled. Then dash back and then dash back on frame 1. Well, we can be more lenient to begin with. If you can dash back within 3 frames so act out of weight is 3, 2, or 1, then we'll count it as a success. And you can do that empty, so just like on the stage, and you can also practice doing it on the computer because computers have there's like hit lag whenever you hit a computer. It takes longer to be able to act out. So those are 2 different timings that both need to be practiced. Then once you get accustomed to that, then you can build in practicing like the fast fall with it, or individually distinguishing dashing back to the left or dashing back to the right, because it's different on your thumb, right? One's a pushing motion, one is a pulling motion.
Yeah. I'm lucky I'm left-handed, but like still, that's a huge thing to practice.
Mm-hmm. So I would say this is an excellent place to start because right here I'm seeing your L cancel rate is about 60 something, between 60 and 70. Yep. And you're slow on your dash backs. And so here's a good trick to see how quickly you can dash back. Do neutral air and L cancel it, and then just hold shield, and then just press shield after you L cancel. So L cancel and leave your trigger held. That's how quick that shield comes up. The frame that shield comes up, that's the first frame that you're actionable. So if you dash back at the time that shield comes out, then that's the fastest you can do it. It's probably way faster than you realized. Yeah, you see? So that was a 3. We'll count that as a success. And then eventually you want to get to the point, obviously, where you're only seeing 1s. And once you hit it correctly the first time, then you notice when you're slow. You're just like, oh, nice. That one was beautiful. You know what? I don't even care that it was out of a full hop. We can start by full hopping. We can build in the short hop later. You know? Do the part you can do first, and then get that link consistent. Then work on the next link, and then work on putting those links together, just like music.
Yeah, because, like, you're still going to use full hop because that beats out a lot of options.
Yes. Full hop is definitely far from useless. And just like building blocks, you're going to put it together. And if you can do this consistently, then you'll see your character control go up in friendlies. I saw you hit the frame 1 once again. Your consistency is going to go up in friendlies. Your speed and overall control are going to improve, and you're going to find yourself being able to do more things. So this is an excellent place to start for you.
Okay, so just to recap, you've put me on to act out of weight, short hops. Actually, yeah, that's a lot of stuff to recap. I'm just catching the vibe right now. This is some good stuff to practice.
Yep.
How much time would you say I should dedicate to practicing in a day?
I mean, it's really up to you. Ideally, you would. It's hard for me to prescribe because I don't know your schedule or like how seriously you want to play the game, right? Yeah. It's just like, I obviously a little bit of time each day is good. 15 minutes is better than nothing. Half an hour is better than 15 minutes. 2 hours is probably actually worse than half an hour if you're just fucking off for 2 hours, and otherwise for half an hour you'd be focused. So it depends on a lot of variables there.
Depends on, like, say, if I can swing it 30 minutes of just practicing tech skill, and then another 30 minutes of just hopping onto Slippy and playing people online.
Yeah, while trying to focus on those things that you're practicing. That would be good.
On those 3 goals, yeah.
So what I would say is, like, you can spend, 15 minutes a day practicing doing what you're... So there are so many variations that you can practice here, right? So you can practice... So we just talked about doing an aerial and L canceling it. Doesn't matter if it's short hop or full hop. And then dashing out frame 1. So if you think about it, there are so many variations. You can practice shining frame 1. You can practice different aerials. You can practice short hop versus full hop. You can practice fast fall versus no fast fall. You can practice it doing the aerial like naring forward or doing a retreating nair, right? Like if you were to drift into them with nair as opposed to, right, that's meaningfully different from just jumping straight up and then hitting them. Like what if you were to jump full forward and then nair at them?
And then you get into like, okay, how fast am I going forward? Is it full sprint or am I like walking distance?
Right, exactly. So like there are so many different ways that you can practice getting this aerial, and then you can practice changing what you do out of your aerial. This is going to be your bread and butter, and this is going to be your skill. So you can do this for like 15 minutes a day, and then LRA start here. I wonder if this version has... Can you go left? Not L. Press B. Go left. Yeah, and then do exercise. And then just hit start, and then hit D-pad down. All right, so now this timer is counting up. rather than down. And what you can do is you can just benchmark yourself. You can do this for 5 minutes. So at the 6-minute mark, see how many eggs you've broken. And this will be a fun way for you to see, because as your tech skill gets better, then you will be able to break more eggs because you'll be able to get around faster. You'll aim your hitboxes better. And I think this is a fun little exercise to benchmark yourself. Obviously, no 2 runs will be the same because the eggs spawn in a random spot, but it's kind of like a brain engaging mini game. And, since it's random, then it's going to like average out.
It's going to get me so good at landing strong nairs.
Yes. And that's also an important skill. And you don't just have to use neutral air, you can also use back air or whatever aerial.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I like this mini game. I've played this one in the past. Thank you for reminding me about it.
Yeah, I think this is like a fun way to kind of engage yourself and warm up. And you can just take this, and obviously you can just do it on CRT instead. I know you said you like to do most of your practice on CRT.
Yeah, whenever. I'll be honest, I've been on a music grind this past week, so I haven't been doing too much.
Yeah, I mean that's fine. Obviously, priorities.
Yeah, I want to do good at the crew battle, but like I get paid by playing bass.
Yeah, no, for real. It definitely are priorities. And it's just like, I mean, if you have to choose between like, music is just like your passion and your job, then obviously, make the responsible choice.
Oh yeah. I have to agree, Howard. But I do need to, you see, Oni was just like, get a lesson with Howard. You're gonna, because I admit, he's getting pretty good. And last time I played him, he beat my ass.
Uh-huh. Make sure to hit those L cancels.
Oh, thank you. Wow, 34%?
Yep. And it's gonna hurt because it's like a personal insult. It's like you suck at L cancel. Yeah, I have to take it. I have to try not to take it personally.
I've never really realized that percentage right there. Like I don't think I ever realized what it like represented.
Mm-hmm.
But like, no, you're right, because I was focusing on just running around hitting the eggs, and all L cancel just went out the window.
Yeah, it's like, holy crap, I have to do this too.
Wow. But it's interesting how it already went back up to like 46%, up, down. Like goes down 1% each time.
Yeah. And it's just as the sample size of your L cancels like increases while you're in the event, then obviously it's just how easy it is to change the percentage.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna need to download the newer version of Uncle Punch. You said there was some kind of lab?
Yeah, it doesn't matter that much for what we're doing here. It's just like kind of more customizable. This version of Uncle Punch is actually perfectly fine for what we're doing.
Cool. I like that.
So you can already see just playing through here, like how how like being able to L cancel more often and like being able to consistently like move quickly out of your aerial would make you be able to break more eggs.
Yeah, they act out of weight. I think I've completely forgotten about, just. Yeah. I need to practice 15 minutes a day because, like, it does feel like an insult whenever you do mess up that stuff, but it's just letting go of that.
Yeah. It is, it's frustrating to mess up your tech skill. It really is. And so, you're going to have to remember to forgive yourself and just go easy on yourself.
Yeah.
Because I promise you it's going to be frustrating. And it's going to be even more frustrating when it's like in-game if you're playing Carson or something,
And it's just like music and the fact that, you're not really going to have anyone else to blame but yourself when when that kind of stuff happens, when it's just pure, technical ability of like what you bring to the table.
Yep. I would say and just closing thoughts on this since it's about an hour. I would say, for this event, don't sweat it if you like forget to L cancel sometimes, or if you forget to try to be acting out frame one sometimes. Just kind of like whenever you notice that you're just like try to notice that you're not working on it, and then just be like, okay, and then just like redirect your focus towards doing it, and just redirect your focus towards doing it again. Don't go into it. It doesn't have to be like a complete sweat fest on it. Just like focus on it, and if you notice your focus slipping, then just deliberately bring it back a bit. And so warm up in the L cancel training, doing aerial and then moving out of it frame one. And once you feel warm on that, then move on to this. And then after that, if you feel like playing more, then you can go back to what you were doing in the versus mode where you're just beating up on the computer, right? And you can bring those ideas into beating up on the computer. And I think you will find that it will make it hitting the computer like flow much more smoothly.
Yeah, because like you're saying earlier, this is the scales right here. And if you don't know your scales, you're not going to get too far.
Yep.
All right, well, I'm going to let you go. I don't want to take too much of your time. It's yeah.
All right, awesome.
Yeah, and that was thank you for giving me some direction.
Of course.
Would you be able to do next Saturday? Check up in a week?
Sure.
Hell yeah. I'm going to try and have some footage and games recorded to, analyze with you.
Okay, sounds good.
All right. Peace, Howard.
Thanks. Bye.
Drive safe when you do drive.
Peace.